What's up, everybody? Bill and Walt from the Sabermetrics podcast. Walt, how you doing tonight? How you feeling? It's not a normal episode, but we're doing another live stream. How you feeling?
Uh, not good about the Sabres.
Oh,
I can't
yes.
remember the last time they were this big of an underdog in a hockey game.
Yeah, I would. That should have been something we looked up pre-show. There's a couple things we have pulled up. Oops, I actually have it on the screen right now. So I guess let's let's talk about that since it's there. It's not something I really want to talk about, so it's good to kind of get out of the way here as well. Lance Oskowski, unfortunately, sorry, Lance, love your brother, but this was deleted. But I got a screenshot of it beforehand because it's basically the quote where people are kind of talking about Kesselring. Um, and here he says, we had such a good fan base here, and he's talking about in Utah when he's talking to Utah reporters. It was so nice just seeing all the positive things all the time. You see the other side of it now in a hockey market. They are pretty critical. I understand the sentiment, but either embrace the pressure or you crumble. At the same time, on the What Chaos podcast, Kesselring was on with DJ Bean and Pete Blackburn and basically said like he's really excited to be in a hockey market. So I don't necessarily think this is a negative, but it was something that was talked about today. Walt, what are your thoughts?
I don't really think this was a great tweet by Lance because, yeah, I do think this is definitely taking his words out of context. It's pretty obvious, like Utah, like new hockey team. People there are just happy to have a team, happy to check it out. Like,
Yeah.
it's kind of like, I don't know. It's not a part of like their mainstream sports yet. So, like, obviously, like people are going to be more happy about everything involving that team when they first start off there. And then
Right.
Buffalo, it's been around since 1970, the Sabres, and we're in the middle of a huge playoff drought. So I think it's a huge difference there. So yeah, I don't really think Hessling, I wouldn't read too much into anything he said because, yeah, I did listen to his interview with the guys at What Chaos, and
Mhm.
Kesslering even like came out and said on there that he's willing to sign to Buffalo long term, that he like loves playing in Buffalo. He likes that it's closer to home for him. So he's here with Josh Doan too, who was also his roommate in Utah. So
Mhm.
definitely seems like a guy who likes being a Sabre.
Okay, let's go off of that. And how do you think Kesselring has played so far? Do you expect that to improve or, I guess, decrease? I'm kind of giving away my thoughts on it a little bit. I'll just say I don't think he's been tragic by any means, but there's definitely been points where I'm like, oh, that wasn't good. And you can kind of see where like the good parts of his game can come in. But what have you thought so far?
Yeah, I know someone pointed out last night that he's kind of like Colin Miller. I think that's like a good comparison for, kind of the expectations of him
Mm,
coming to Buffalo versus who he actually is, because the hype of Kessling was way too much. I felt like this offseason, I think Josh Doan was probably the main piece in that trade. I think Kessling is a good depth defenseman, but the way some people are talking about him, like a surefire top four defenseman, like I think he's a guy
yeah.
who could fill in a lineup for a somewhat long NHL career, but I don't really think he's going to be, a huge piece for the Sabres. Like, I think he's just going to be like a depth guy there.
I mean, like I get the appeal for sure. He's big, skates well. Stand up for teammates. He even said it's not something he actively looks for, but he's a bigger guy and he knows that's comes with the territory, and at least that's a good mentality to have. But yeah, this is something that I've talked about before. You've mentioned it as well. It is look, this guy looks like he's ready for a bigger role, and then he comes to Buffalo and he was a top 6 defenseman in Utah. He comes to Buffalo. Oh, top 4. Yeah, yeah. He can really thrive with some more minutes, and then it doesn't go so well. I will say it especially for him, because I think he got hurt in the first preseason game, if I'm not mistaken. Someone can correct me if I'm not mistaken, but that kind of started his season off weird too. So I'm trying to give him some leeway, but it's like, yeah, man, it's time to get going now for sure. So it was definitely unfortunate last night in Utah when he had a chaotic, but he had an opportunity and kind of fired it right back into the goalie. So, yeah, that was just a topic that I just saw today about Kesselring. Here's the more fun topic now that we have a few more people in here. Actually, the reason we did the live stream tonight instead of a podcast because there's a game coming up. Obviously, Sabres are playing Colorado, massive underdogs. We'll talk about that as the game approaches. But anything we said tonight could have been outdated by tomorrow, whenever you would be listening to a normal podcast, because Matthew Barnaby, now, grain of salt, not like an insider by any means, but someone that is connected to the Sabres organization in some capacity. Sabres are in negotiations. Go get your guy. Do you think that means Brendan Shanahan? Just wanted to get your thoughts on this one, Walt, because this is, I feel like, the bigger topic. There's been a lot of stuff being talked about with the Sabres. We haven't touched several things, several very important things, non-hockey related things as well. But this was another big topic today. What do you think about the rumors of, not only the rumors right now of Brendan Shanahan, but before, when it was like, yeah, the Sabres kind of like hand waved him, or at least that what the perception was. What do you think about the whole Brendan Shanahan situation before and then now?
Well, I don't really think it matters like who's running the Sabres team. I think at the end of the day, the processes will probably still be the same, unless that new guy could convince Terry to change his processes. So, I mean, it doesn't matter much to me. But
Okay,
I
damn,
guess
I
we'll
was really
find
hoping
out.
that wasn't going to be the case. I mean, you don't think that someone like Brendan Shanahan can come in there and like whip Terry into shape
I mean, Jarmo
more than?
Kekalainen came in here, and we had the same offseason we've seen the last two off seasons, and
But
he's
does
working
Yarmo have the
remotely in
same? He doesn't have
Columbus.
the same clout as Brendan Shanahan, though. So, like, I feel like
I
Brendan
mean,
Shanahan would have a better opportunity to come in and whoop him into shape versus Yarmo.
I still think what Yarmo did was more impressive with Columbus though than what Shanahan did with Toronto. Like, that's like running the New York Yankees. Yarmo made a small market team that's never had success into a somewhat sustainable, decent team, a team able to sign a top free agent and Johnny Gaudreau.
Mhm.
Like I just think what he accomplished with Columbus was like out of my mind just much more impressive than what Shanahan did with Toronto. Like look at Toronto right now. Like the team's a disaster.
That's true. I mean, but at the same time, I remember listening to the Steve Dangle podcast after they got rid of Shanahan, and that, like, especially in any kind of media, it is more of a recency bias. I'll get rid of that and get us back here, but they basically said, like, don't think of the last few years, think of like where he got the team to before that, essentially. And it's just like, look, he mended fences with alumni. He got the team that was pretty much a joke to respectable, making the playoffs all the time. So what's your take on just like, you know, Kevin Adams gets out of the way, but Shanahan might come in, works with Yarmo as well. Like, I don't know what you do with guys like Carmanos or Sam Ventura, but I don't know, just kind of like the structure of the organization. How do you think that could possibly change? At least, like, I know we're just grasping at straws, just trying to guess here, because you never know what to expect with old Tear Bear at the helm. But what do you expect some kind of shakeup would look like if they were to do it?
Well, I do think there's already been a shakeup. I mean, based on everything I heard, I think Yarmo, I think he carries like a little bit more weight than like some people would expect. Like Kevin Adams is like, the GM officially, but I do think like I don't know, it's more like a group project with this team, I'd say, than Kevin Adams being like the final say, final decision maker. So I think, I just can't really see a way this thing could work if they bring in Shanahan with Yarmo. That just seems like too many cooks in the kitchen, and we saw it happen with that with Pat LaFontaine. So I don't know. I mean, I just don't really think they have a plan, and I think that's kind of been the Sabres' problem this entire drought is they're just I like they rotate between different eras. Like right now, they're back in their era where they're just trying to add the biggest names possible and as many of them as possible. Like, and then they're gonna go back into we'll just hire the guys we know like 10 years
Well,
from now,
and
and then they'll cycle back into the big name. Like it's just like an endless cycle. It feels like.
but it also kind of goes with what we talked about with either coaches and or playing styles. They cycle from, we need to be super
Yeah,
defensive, Ralph Kruger, to offense, high octane transition, Don Granato. Need to go back to being super defensive and structured, Lindy Ruff. So there's that kind of cycle as well, and it just always feels reactive, not proactive. They had such a you had such an opportunity to be on the cutting edge of analytics, and they kinda waited too long. And in analytics, I'm not saying it's lost its luster, but everyone's kind of caught up. I mean, haven't changed those signs. They haven't caught up. It's
Yeah.
it's just everything, it just kind of feels more reactionary versus like we're going to kind of set the new standard, which I understand is way easier said than done, but just yeah, I don't know. It's just
I mean,
it
like the
all just
best
feels
Sabres
reactionary.
team of the drought, like as of late, was a team coached by Don Granato,
Yeah.
who wasn't even supposed to be an NHL coach. He was just good at his job when another guy got fired. And Kevin Adams, who was given the GM position in COVID, like that was like the GM coach combo that almost got this team in the playoffs. Like, I
Wild.
guess Kevin Adams has been the GM since then, but it's like it feels like the simple, just the simple decisions, just like the simple, like I don't know, just everything involving team building. I think always seems to be the answer, and I think Sabres always take just a way too complex route to try to answer every single question they have, and it hasn't worked out so far. So I really hope, like, if this season goes south, like I kind of hope they would. It's tough too with Tuck contract expiring, but I do hope maybe you go Yarmo interim GM and, kind of wait till the offseason to truly build a front office. I just feel like scrambling and trying to put together a front office on the fly in what is it, November? It just seems like ill advised.
Yeah, and as we know from last year, it's really you just don't plan on the team making trades because you need two to tango, and other teams aren't really wanting to do this unless they're desperate, and you're not getting the cream of their crop either.
Yeah,
So
look how good the Eastern Conference teams are too. Like there's no like really bad team in the entire conference.
yeah,
So it's like
then you're looking out
everyone thinks
west,
they're
but
still in it.
yeah, so like then you're looking out west, but like again, what are you getting from those teams anyway when they're trying to improve their team because they've had a slow start? You're not going to
Yeah.
find anyone. And like I understand someone that would say, let's just make a small move just for something or whatever. I get it, fair enough. I mean, we were begging for that during a 13 game losing streak, but yeah, I can understand that, but I think there's just you're stuck between a rock and a hard place. You made your bed, now you got to sleep in it. And yeah, look, I mean, they're decimated by injuries, but you know, I- other teams don't care. Standings don't care what the circumstance is. Got to win games, unfortunately. So, um, saw this comment from Splendid. Don Granato gave an interview on a podcast where he basically admitted he focused so much on scoring because hyper offense was the only way he could make the team scary to opponents with the roster. I'll add to that the roster that he had. I mean, I agree with that sentiment. I would love to actually hear that podcast. So if you want to actually do the work to send the link, I will actually save that and listen to that. Um, Agreed. Yeah, I mean, where's the lie there, Walt? I don't think there is. I mean, we're not trying to rehash history. There's plenty to talk about here, but just a comment on the whole. I feel like Don Granado was just like and this is what I was talking about with Kevin Adams. Like Don Granado was like, "Look, man, I might not get another opportunity as an NHL head coach. If I'm going down, I'm going down swinging. I'm not going to go down trying to win games 1-0 and 2-1. I'm going to go down trying to win games 6-5 and 5-4 and stuff like that, which at least produced an exciting brand of hockey and was the closest this team has been to making the playoffs. Any more thoughts on Don Granato? I mean, that's a thank you for the comment. Definitely, I mean, makes sense why he said it.
Yeah, I mean, I think with Don Granato, I think he's such a smart hockey guy. It's kind of a shame that his start had to come with finishing 1 point short of a playoff spot. So I do think if he was able to break the drought, I mean, he'd probably still be here right now. And if he wasn't here right now, it'd probably be easier for him to find another NHL job. Like it's crazy how much one singular point can, affect the outcome of a guy's career. But yeah, I was a huge fan of him. I really think he made the most out of that roster, like that comment said. Because so many coaches, I think are kind of a part of like that establishment in the NHL where you kind of cycle through the same coaches over and over again, and those guys are much less willing to kind of take risks with their talent group. Like they want to run the same systems, regardless of the talent they have. So I think it was a breath of fresh air having someone like Granato, who was like, this may be the only opportunity I have as an NHL head coach. And the crazy thing too is like he almost died like a few years before he became
Yeah.
the Sabres head coach. So, I think that kind of showed in like his coaching style where he's like, I'm gonna make the most of this opportunity right now. Like I'm not gonna play conservative hockey. I'm gonna try to go out there and win. And I think, we really saw that with him.
I think there's just something to be said with that, and that's why I was trying to make that point with Kevin Adams, basically saying like, man, if you're gonna go down, just go down swinging. You're like, he acts in a way like he knows he's not going to get fired because he's trying to be more conservative and for the long term, and don't want to make a move now that would harm us later. And it's just like most GMs are just like, I'm not going to be here anyway to see the result of this, and he's acting like a GM who will be there to see the result of whatever action he takes. Which, quite frankly, I think some of the trades he's made aren't horrific,
Yeah,
especially in some of the
yeah, I do think
circumstances. I don't think he's
it's
been
like
super
concerning
fleas.
though. I saw like the articles where it's like, yeah, he's focusing on like the young guys trying to win with this group now. Like that doesn't sound like a GM that thinks he's not going to be on this team's payroll next season. Like he might not be the GM, but I doubt we're getting rid of Kevin Adams outright.
It's going to be somehow involved. I have no idea how they're going to walk this one
I mean, the
to
guy was
the finish
watching an
line.
Amherst game last night. They had Yarmo in Utah. They had Kevin Adams watch Devin Levi get six dropped on him in the AHL.
Getting called out by Leone packing massive lips in his post game. I mean, you also yeah, it's also something that I was concerned about that I've heard people that are there at every single game. Yarmo's super involved and he's always in Buffalo. And it was when we heard that he was going to be staying in Columbus, you're like, what are you talking about? Turns out that's not even what's going on. Apparently he's in Buffalo all the time. So that's good to hear. Shout out Yarmo.
Yeah. I mean, probably realizes like Columbus isn't like the most fun place to be. I mean, not to fire shots at Columbus, but it's
Yeah, I
like
mean,
it's not like
yeah.
the guy was living in like South Beach or LA or Manhattan
Look,
or something.
you live in Boston. Boston, very historic. I'm a history nerd, so like I can, appreciate that. I'm not gonna be saying that from Buffalo. I do have a
I
glass
don't
house, and we
know.
will be throwing stones. Like, I'm not trying to say one's better
I'd
than the
be
other here.
I'd be willing to say Buffalo is better than Columbus.
Okay.
I
Okay.
mean, not to fire
Hopefully,
any shots at Columbus. I mean, I know I'm biased too. Columbus is a nice city though. I think it gets too much hate. I mean, I guess I'm one of the people that's hating on it right
I was gonna
now
say, hold on a
a
second.
little bit, but the
Oh
area
man.
outside the arena is pretty cool. But
Cool.
yeah, in terms of like a hockey vibe though, I mean, you're almost like a Finnish guy. Like I feel like Buffalo is one of the few like US cities where it's like it almost feels like you're in like a small town in Sweden, like competing for like the SHL title. Like when
It's
you're here in
dark
like the
and
middle of February. Like
it's,
it's got that vibe to it.
it's dark at 4:30 p.m. Yeah, I get it. Um, I guess since we actually haven't recorded anything or live streamed or anything since this, kind of bit of a somber thing on this one. Rasmus Dahlin went back to Sweden to be with his fiance, who is recovering from her heart transplant this summer. Um, all I'll say is all the best to Rasmus, her family, Rasmus's family. Um, like he's like the one guy that like he is, but like we lose Tucker will really stink. Lose Thompson, not good. All these other guys, but like Darlene's like the guy. Um, and I just hope he takes all the time he needs, as much time as that is. Um, and then whenever he comes back, I hope everyone welcomes him with open arms because I know pretty much everyone will. But Walt, any kind of word on that? Just because we haven't recorded since then, and I just wanted to say something because Donnelly means a lot to not only this team but the community.
I think he definitely made the right choice because you could tell like early on the season, like it just wasn't him out there. You could tell it was, kind of more on like the mental side of things with him because he's been, a top NHL defenseman in the past few years. And yeah, he just seemed out of it at the beginning of the year. So, I mean, it's great that he, is kind of able to recognize that and willing to like be able to go back home and, try to get things back on track because I think that's, so much more important than just playing a game with like a stick and a puck on ice. So, I think good for him for making that choice, and I look forward to having both him and his wife back in Buffalo eventually.
Yeah, I mean, just certain things are just more important than hockey. This is very much one of them. Again, we're wishing them all the best, and hopefully she makes a full recovery. Darlene's able to come back and play a little bit more carefree because I mean that just weighing on you is got to be so incredibly difficult. Plus, being the captain of a hockey team and one of the best players on the team that we need you night in and night out. So I'm glad that he was able to get on the ice with Frolunda as well. Might be kind of good just to memory lane playing there before and going back while trying to stay in shape because I remember especially when I played. Like any kind of issues that I had off the ice, whether it was like practice or a game, like you just kind of lost them the second you stepped on the ice. I don't know if other people have that, but for me, that was like the one place for me that I just like didn't think about other stuff. I play tennis or like golf now, and I'll still think about stuff off the court or off the course. But hockey was the one place where I was on the ice where I didn't think about that kind of stuff. So I'm sure him getting on the ice with in Frolunda is a little bit of that. Again, I don't know if
Yeah.
everyone's like me, but that's what it was for me. And it was like super therapeutic. Um,
I mean,
and
he's still
so,
such a young guy too to be going through
yeah,
all of this and having the responsibility of being an NHL captain because he's what, like 25 years old. Like that's just a lot for him to go through. So
yeah, man, brutal, absolutely brutal. Again, Darlene like feels like our kid, you drafted
yeah,
first overall, stuck through all of this. Seems like, he's willing to stick through it even more. I've heard good stories about apparently the Sabres this summer with this situation, like really, doing their part and helping him out. And I think he really appreciates that. And,
I mean, he's like the
um,
last guy from that. Is he the last guy from the Michael Reinhardt era? I'm trying to run through the lineup. Like,
um, yeah, I mean, yeah, pretty much. He didn't play much with Jack Quinn or, those guys.
yeah, because
Yeah.
Quinn was just a
Oh,
prospect.
man.
I mean, because I wouldn't like consider like Quinn to be a part of.
Thompson,
Oh yeah, I guess Tage.
age, yeah. Um,
Yeah, but I guess not as much as Darlene though, because he was injured like a full season and then got sent to the AHL for a little bit.
yeah. So, yeah, no, Darlene's been through and through a Buffalo guy and hope he, comes back. So, unfortunately, that was the more somber part of things, but that's the most important thing. No matter what we talk about tonight, her health is the most important thing, but we will, move on to some other stuff here. Let's kind of get back to some comments. We try to get to every comment just because we appreciate everyone taking time before the Sabres game tonight. We're there, massive underdogs against Colorado Avalanche. We appreciate you guys coming and hanging out with us, talking some Sabres. I honestly think Granado started to check out turnout before the tournament when he realized no one was getting added. I mean, you see that in other sports. I've seen that in in football or soccer for us here in America. Yeah, coaches or whatever, they just act differently when there's discussions of, look, we're going to be bringing in help. Here comes the cavalry. Then does show up, and you're like, "What the man?" Like, we had promises, we had discussions. What's going on here? So, I don't want to go as far to say that. And of course, he would deny it, but you're probably not 100% wrong either. Walt, any thoughts on this comment here?
I mean, I just think that roster stunk. Like, I don't think he checked out. I just think that roster is terrible. Like, I mean, we saw Lindy with a similar roster would not even be able to crack 80 points, and Lindy's like, considered like a legendary NHL head coach, a guy that made it to the playoffs with the Devils and turned him into a 100+ point team, and he couldn't even get 80 points out of the similar Sabres core.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably more it. Um, I'd go the side of it's less malicious than him just being like, no, I'm going to sabotage this team. But I understand the sentiment. Probably not 100% incorrect, but I don't think necessarily that's was his like main factor on stuff there. And then yeah, Levi roasting Levi was, excuse me, Leon Kings of Leon, great band.
Kings of Leone.
I was gonna say that's perfect. I need to go get myself a T-shirt for that. But yeah, I don't care if your name's Devin Levi. It's too many goals. Yeah, I mean, like there is a point where who was it that brought it up? I think Matthew Fairburn, which at some point I want to get onto the show. So there's me calling my shot with that. But he mentioned something about like when they talked to Levi when he first was going down to Rochester, he was basically like, "Yeah, no problem. I'll be right back." Like there is a bit of a Levi believing in the Levi hype in a way where like he does think he is this, like he has the, not the arrogance. I really don't want to say that because that has such a negative connotation to it, but he has the mindset, which is like a good and a bad thing in a sense. But like I'm an NHL starting goaltender, blah 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 blah. Like I'm an NHL goaltender, and then you hear someone like Fairburn saying that. Then you have Leone basically saying like I don't care if your name's Devin Levi. It's too many goals. Like obviously saying like his name carries some weight as a prospect, and this guy like. And there's rumors about him possibly like asking for trades and stuff like that. Like, what's going on here? Like, what's going on here, Walt? Like, there's something going on here with Levi. I don't know what it is, but it just, I don't know. Something doesn't feel right. Are you feeling the same thing as me? Am I crazy? Don't answer that. Do you agree, disagree? Something going on here, or is it
I
smoke?
mean, they clearly don't have a plan for him. Like they don't even have a plan for Colton
I don't have
Ellis,
a
let
plan for
alone
anything. They
Devin
don't have a plan
Levi.
for
So
anything. Yeah.
yeah, so it's like it's hard to, say they think that highly of him if there's no plan for him to ever get NHL games because I like with how Alex Lyon's playing this year, unless he completely falls apart, there's no way you're not bringing that guy back next year.
He's
UPL,
on a 2-year
you
deal anyway, right?
yeah, he's got one more year left. There's no way you're like trading him with that year left with how
Yeah.
good he's been so far. Like Colton Ellis, I mean, didn't have a great game last game, not terrible. Had a really good game his first game.
Yeah.
So, the jury's still out on him,
You
but
still give him another shot for sure.
probably not someone you want to give it for free. Like he's at least good enough to be a backup, I think. And then, UPL, they'll have to move him if Levi gets games. And then it's like, yeah, where does like Devin Levi fit into this puzzle? They have to move two goalies this
Yeah.
offseason just for him to get games. So I just don't know what their plan is with him. I don't know like why they think this year. I mean, I know they don't have a choice, but it's not like his development would like magically end like after this year. Like it's not,
Yeah.
maybe his development has already ended. Like I I don't
Yeah.
agree with their like development timeline, like how it somehow perfectly ends with when his like waiver and eligibility ends. So
Yeah.
I think it's pretty clear they don't have a plan for him, and Levi hasn't been that great in the AHL. Like he's had some good games, some really bad games, and that's kind of been the theme with him, as of late. And maybe it's that Northeastern curse, because like we saw Caden Primo put ridiculous numbers
Oh,
on
yeah. Yeah. I
Northeastern,
forgot he was a
and he's
Northeastern guy.
struggling to even
Mhm.
stay as an NHL guy. Uh, Levi put up ridiculous numbers, and we're seeing a Buffalo guy too now. I think Lawton Zacher, he's their goalie now. He's like a 950 something save percentage for Northeastern. So I don't know, like I don't know what they're doing to these goalies in Northeastern, but I mean they're putting up like ridiculous numbers, and they're
Gotta be
like
something in the
not.
water.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there.
You need to get some of that. You're close enough to Northeastern up there in Boston, right?
Yeah,
Go start
it's a
going to
quick
their, dining halls and, like, library and start drinking out of their their drinking fountains or
15
something.
minute 15-minute metro ride away.
Okay, there you go. There you go. So, yeah, man, that's starting to worry me, but, like, this is starting to feel like, remember we're like, Cal Peterson and Eric Portillo or Portillo, Portillo, he's not, from South America or Central America, but Eric Portillo and
Oh, Cal
Cal
Peter.
Peterson
Yeah, I mean that's
are
a
our
throwback.
are our future. UPL and Devin Levi are our future. Next thing you know, it's gonna be like Alex Lyon and Colton Ellis for the next 3 years or something. So it's just
Yeah,
like goalies are just so weird, man. It's so annoying because you can just never. It's almost like you could just never rely on them, or you just have to build your team like your goalie's gonna suck every year, and you have to just like kind of try to compensate for that, and hopefully it's a good year for him. And like the more
yeah.
there are goalies that have more consistency, but like any goalie is, able to just go off for like maybe if it's not for an entire season, for like a good stretch of a season. Who knows if Alex Lyon can really kind of get back into his groove and start going again.
Yeah, I
We'll be
think the
saying
thing
something
as
about him.
Sabres fans is though, like we're so used to like that one guy like just taking over and being the goalie for like 5, 6, 7, 8 years. Like I
Yeah,
just remember growing up, like that was the one constant every night. There are like multiple eras of Sabres. Like you knew Ryan Miller would be in net. You knew like first period he'd make like a crazy glove save and it'd be the Toyota big save. Like it was just like the one constant with this team. And I think that's kind of what Sabres fans, at least the older Sabres fans, kind of crave because they're used to that Hasek, that Ryan Miller, that like number one goalie that's like almost your star player. And I think that's somewhat unique to Buffalo with our goaltending history. I mean, you could even toss in names like, Tom Barrasso too. Like they have a rich goaltending history in Buffalo. So I think we just have high expectations for our goalies being a guy. But, for the most part, yeah, like just getting a guy like Alex Lyon for cheap and free agency. I mean, that's like the modern day NHL now, it seems like. Like that's how you
it's
like
crazy.
win with these goalies. Like it seems like a guy that's terrible one year is like a Vesna candidate the following year. It's just like you just kind of just have to get lucky and hope you time things right.
Like, to reiterate that point, the Sabres are playing the Avalanche backup tonight because their starter, Scott Wedgwood, has the night off. Wedgwood, the same guy that couldn't even crack the Sabres lineup years ago, and he was playing in Rochester,
Yeah,
is
no.
now the starting goaltender for the Colorado Avalanche, which, by the way, heard on the radio that they have one regulation loss, I believe it is. So good luck with that. But yeah, goalies are voodoo. They're weird. Like I understand the people that say like saying goalies are voodoo is a cop out. Like there are ways to figure out who's a good goalie and who's not. But I'm like, it's just the consistency, man. Like there might be 5 goalies that are consistently good. You got your Hellebucks, Vasilevsky for the most part, and throw in a couple others there if you want. Swayman signed a massive contract. Who knows if that ends up looking good or not or whatever. But it's just, man, they're just so hard to predict. That's why they're the weirdos on the team. You just gotta
Yeah.
stay away from our goaltenders. You just don't mess with them. You try to be nice to them, especially your defenseman. You want to have a good
Yeah.
relationship with your goaltender. Otherwise, get the heck out of the way. They're weirdos.
It was so tough though not to fall in love with Devin Levi as a prospect because I don't think I've
like
ever
a
seen a goalie prospect that's like more fun to watch. I mean, that win at the Beanpot, World Juniors, that was before he was technically a Sabres prospect, but he came out of nowhere and kind of dominated that. Played with a broken rib in the gold medal game, still played incredible. Like I don't. It's just like he kind of felt like a storybook goalie prospect. So I think that's another thing why it's disappointing why he hasn't been too great in the HL series because it seemed like destiny that he was supposed to be the guy. I mean, I just remember his first game in Buffalo too. Like the atmosphere
yeah,
of that game was crazy. Like I don't
fun
think I've ever
hype.
been to like a rookie goalie game where they're chanting the goalie's name, where they're like
Yeah,
cheering at every single save he makes.
it
Like
was
that's
wild. It was
rare.
fun to watch.
Yeah, it was a fun game too. Overtime winner. It was just a fun hockey game.
One reason why I do kind of like doing some of these live streams versus recording, because if we had this on the recording and people were hearing it tomorrow morning, they don't really care. Guess who just scored for the Edmonton Oilers?
Savoy.
Oh yeah, sure did. Sure did. So that is off the back of the McLeod, Thompson, and Tuck line, whopping 0 shots
Man, Matt
last
Larkin's
night.
gonna be up again. That guy said he's gonna give give Sabres fans hell or something once
Someone
Savoy
check on
finally
Matt
breaks out.
Larkin. He probably has his pants off somewhere. Oh, what do we got here? Yeah, we got McLeod, Thompson, Tuck tonight, Roseanne, Osland, and Quinn. I'm going left wing, center, right wing here. Greenway, Kozak, Doan, and Dunn, Krebs, Malmstein. See, like the Uslan line, really good last night against Utah. Krebs line, I thought was all right. Like they're doing what a fourth line needs to do. Power, Samuelson, Byram, Timmons, Bryson, Kesselring. I mean, that's pretty much how I would line them up too, with what you got right now. So
Did they say the guy? Did they ever announce which guys are like injured? I know Lindy didn't want to say.
who was possible for playing tonight? I don't think anyone was possible for playing tonight, so I didn't really hear anything like that. Maybe because like the scratches are
I know
Zach
Lindy
Jones.
said some guys are like banged up, and it's going to be like a game time decision, but he's not going to say who.
I mean, everyone that played last night's playing again tonight that I can see.
So
The
yeah,
the
someone's going to
scratch.
be out in there. I guess we'll find out who it is.
I mean, the lineup has Jones, Geertsen, and Ellis as your scratches. I'm not seeing anyone that played last night that isn't on the roster or
I wonder
isn't
if
on
they're
the
going to
lineup
take.
card.
I wouldn't be surprised if all three of those guys are taking warm ups too, though.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I didn't hear anything about that. To be fair, I was busy at work literally all day, so I was only able
I
to see
could
a couple
pull
things on
up.
social
I
media.
don't know. Could you see tweets of people that blocked you? No.
Oh no. What'd you do, Walt?
I mean, I got blocked. Is there anyone that's not blocked by Paul Hamilton?
Me, because I just never interact with them, I think. Not to
Oh,
brag or anything like
apparently.
that.
Oh, he said everyone but Ellis is dressed for warm up. So,
Oh, okay. So that, yeah, okay. Tage is at center,
yeah.
and McLeod's on the left wing with Tuck. I mean,
Yeah, he said Ruff said they have a few players banged up from last night, so they'll need warm up to see if they can play. He wouldn't say who. So it looks
I,
like, it's hard to tell what position it would be because they could roll 7 defensemen with Jones, but I guess we'll find out.
Samuelson took a shot off the foot last night, and he was hurting pretty good. That would be the only one that I can think of. Anyone else? I don't think anyone else was out with discomfort. Speaking of discomfort, holy crap! Yeah, maybe some stomach discomfort for a guy like Jason Zucker right now. Holy crap! He hasn't eaten solid food, but the last update was like in 9 days or something like that.
Yeah,
Like,
that's nuts. It's like man versus wild type of stuff.
I mean, I can't imagine. Like, I'm someone that's dealt with like that kind of stuff. Not that kind of stuff, like his severity, but like that kind of stuff where you don't feel good for a while and you lose weight, stuff like that. But like, I'm not a professional athlete. I'm the furthest thing from it.
Yeah.
Like him, that's good. He has to go through like an entire like training camp again. They need to build this guy up from almost like he wasn't able to, skate after like an injury or something like that, like a long term like leg injury or something like that is what I'm trying to say. Like that really sucks. So Jason Zucker's not coming back anytime soon. Danforth, they keep talking about, oh, Danforth's out, Danforth's out. I'm sorry, like Danforth isn't a needle mover, so like I'm sorry that he's hurt, and it would be better to have him in the
Well,
lineup than someone like Geertsen. But like, I don't really
is he
care about
still in the
Danforth.
lineup though with how good Osen and Rosane have been? Like he's
No,
probably
shouldn't
first
be,
guy out.
shouldn't
I
be.
mean, I
No,
guess Geertsen too, but there may have to be two guys out because like I don't think even a guy like Josh Dunn, like is Danforth going to be getting games over him? Like, it'll be interesting to see how they, plan for his re-arrival.
Agreed. And then there's Zach Benson, who I mean, is just getting hit in the face with pucks and then ended up in the hospital. And next thing you know, he's in a walking boot and he's out for however long. Sounds like he should be back somewhat soon, but it's just like, man, like I tweeted it last night. Like I'm having it at some point. The excuse of like there's too many guys out is an actual excuse because it like you have so many dudes out and like it's hard enough when you have all these guys out and then your first line isn't going at all. Like that's just really tough too. Like, of course this was going to happen. Like I said earlier in the stream, like the standings and the rest of the NHL don't care what you're going through. You have to win games. But like I can't say I'm surprised that they fell apart against Utah last night. And I won't be surprised if they get smoked by Colorado tonight. But I will say, and I want to get your opinion on this, is this a trap game for Colorado?
It could be. That's the thing. Even with like the odds
Some
I'm
just
seeing, it's
like
kind of like the NFL too. Anytime a team's like a 14 and a half or something crazy point favorite, you're always like, oh wow, yeah, this could be a trap game. So I don't know. I guess we'll find out. So what is it? Almost 9 o'clock. So
Yeah, I'm
with
trying to look
Roach and
for
puck
more
drop?
updates here. Yeah, puck drops, what would we say, about 9:10? So we'll hang out for another, like, 10 minutes or so. Again, we're just doing this in the pregame. It's not gonna be a real game stream. We could stick around for maybe the first period if you really wanted, but the plan was not to do that, so if we do say we're out
No,
here
yeah, I've
going
got
into
a
the game
dip at 9:10.
9:10, oh, yeah, you were doing stuff beforehand, so,
Yeah, I
um
got finished putting together a dresser.
the old IKEA method, I love it. Um Yeah, let me see what else I can find here before we might have. Hmm. I mean, we're really not going to know until they step onto the ice. I'm just trying to see if there's like sorry, there's hair on my microphone. Trying to see if there's any kind of inkling as to who might be sitting or if they're going like 11-7 because like I just never like 11-7. I was always someone that like if I couldn't get into the groove of the game, I really struggled. And like that is prime time. You are not getting into the groove of the game if you're doing that.
Yeah, I mean, West Coast road trip though, Rochester playing last night, they're kind of stuck with who they got at
Yeah,
this point.
that's true. Um, Hmm, not seeing much. Let me see. Alex Lyons in that. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much the what I'm seeing here. Um, could there be?
Yeah, this game could get ugly. I mean, just watching McKinnon and McCarr, like those guys play, like Marty Natchez, it's like, man, these guys play so much speed, and with how the Sabres top line has looked the past few games, might not turn out too great.
Yeah. I mean, especially if you kind of sit back because you have tired legs, especially in like the second and the third, and you let those guys get ahead of steam on you. Good luck. That sucks. I wouldn't want to do that. Sounds terrible. You have Nathan McKinnon or Cal McCarr coming down at you full speed. Just like pack it up. Let's go home, folks. This sucks. So
Yeah.
especially and, like, we also have to remember they're playing in Denver, Colorado, up in the mountains. Air's a little bit thinner up there. Back to back to back, this team had the day off. Their last game was, what, Tuesday, and they played at home? I mean, this is a recipe just to get absolutely smacked like 6-1. But but who knows? They could be looking at, forward to their next game. What's Colorado's next game? Colorado. I can't spell.
I mean, what do they have though? Like one regulation loss so far this year,
Yeah.
and what,
So
18 games?
hey, maybe just try to get it into. They're looking forward to. Man, they have a nice schedule right now. What is going on now? So they played Tuesday, they play today, they play Sunday at home, then they play next Thursday at home. So yeah, they're not looking forward to any other game. They have, it's this one and Sunday, and then they're good for a little bit. So they're not looking past anything tonight. I mean, you're going to get the best shot of the Avalanche. So
I mean,
whoa,
it's the
boy,
NHL though, so like really anything could happen. Like I just think
yeah.
back to what was it, like the 13, 14, or 14, 15 Sabres? Or no, I think 13, 14 that took down like the LA Kings team that won the Stanley Cup that year in a shootout. Like it's just like stuff like that
Yeah.
where it's like, anything could happen. Because like this Sabres team, it definitely isn't as bad as those teams. Like they still have guys on the roster right now. But at the same time, this Colorado team, it's looking like one of the best teams ever.
They're fun to
Somehow.
watch, man. They really are.
Yeah.
If you can catch, like, another team playing if the Sabres are off or something like that, watch Colorado. They're just fun to watch. They really are.
Yeah, and
Except tonight. Oof.
yeah. I think McKinnon too, like I think he's gonna go down as one of the more underrated players ever. Like I know most people consider him a top guy now, but and there were times like around when he won the cup or Sabres, like this guy might be the best player in the NHL, but it's like he's truly, I think, up there as some of the greats.
Yeah, I mean, he's gonna be overshadowed by, either, like, Crosby or McDavid, but, I mean, he has just as much of a case as anyone else trying to, first ballot Hall of Famer for sure, and so, yeah, I mean, he's a crazy person. He like controls his teammates' diets or whatever, but at the same time, he's producing
Yeah.
results. So, Nathan
I
McKinnon,
held the
man.
door open for him one time too. That's my
Ooh,
claim to fame.
okay. Oh, did he say thank you?
Oh yeah, I held the door open for his whole family. His dad looks like just like him, but like an older version.
I I bet McKinnon's just like one of those guys. He's not like the tallest guy, but he's just like so. You're just like, man, if I had to like go shoulder to shoulder with you, I'd go flying through that glass door over there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
it's
yeah.
just
I mean, it was right after he won the Hart Trophy, like 2 years ago too. Like
uh,
he was like going out to dinner with his family. Like that would be such a
nice.
crazy feeling. Like imagine just like going out to dinner with your family after like being
Yeah,
named the best player in the NHL. Like I
that's
remember
good.
like going out to dinner with my family after like graduating high school
Yeah,
or
you're like, oh,
stuff
this
like
is
that.
cool.
Like
Yeah, this feels nice. Yeah,
imagine
yeah.
doing that after being like the best player in the NHL. Like that's gotta be like a crazy feeling.
Yep. KB, they're probably licking their chops at the pad stats. But again, that's why I'm trying to give a little side-eyed grin to like it could be a trap game for them. Guys, some guys start cheating a little bit in the defensive end. A couple pucks go Sabres way.
Victor Olofsson.
Victor
Victor
Olofsson, he turns over the puck, doing a favor for this old team. It could happen, guys. Keep the faith. Match that Sabres money line or whatever. Don't actually do that. This is not gambling advice. I will lose you money every single time. But definitely match that money line for the Sabres because they could pull off an upset tonight on the
Oh, they
back end of
got
the back end.
second line Gavin Brindley too. That's
Ooh.
shout out to Austin Brass. He was a big Gavin Brindley guy back in the day.
I love watching you like more prospect guys. Like I used to be into prospects, now I've gotten away from it, but you prospect guys that have like stuck with it, that now you see like the result of it, like that was my guy. And you're like, heck yeah,
Oh
like he was a
yeah.
second round pick back in like 2019. And I really wanted him and look at him have success now. And it's just like boom, validation. Like I don't know, it's fun.
I
Love
watched so much of those USHL seasons like during COVID because I had like nothing else to do for most of the day. So I would just go on to I forget what it even was called back then, like Hockey TV or something, and just watch all the USHL games. I remember Austin Brass reached out to me. He was like, you have to watch this Gavin Brindley guy. I think he was like a 16-year-old at the time from Estero, Florida, playing on the Tri-City Storm. So it's pretty rare to see like a player that young, that high up a USHL lineup that's not the development team program. So, he panned out. Some good years at Michigan, some good years on the US World Junior team, second line for the Avalanche right now. Second power play unit too. Oh, and Taylor
it.
McCart too. He's in their lineup as well. Kel's brother.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. I was wondering because I knew Cal had a brother, and I knew he was like trying to make it through the pros, but you know, was like a kind of like a tweener kind of thing. But um, I guess won't be necessarily the last thing. I will hold you until 9:10. So we got 4 minutes left. But I just saw this. I haven't listened to it or anything like that, but I'm just gonna pull it up for everyone to see. I'm gonna keep it like big. I'll even try to make it full screen if I can. That didn't really do too much. So back to, excuse me. Oh,
No,
who
you're
wants to
full
see
screen.
who wants to see a massive thing of me? Yes, exactly. Sorry about that, folks. This is the best you're going to get at this point. I asked Paterka about this interaction with Tuck and how Utah treats their players. It was the video when he was mic'd up when he was back in Buffalo talking about like it's crazy how like good they treat us here. And just like the quotes that you see here, our ownership management, they provide us with everything here. Best example is the practice facility. They hand us everything to succeed, which I mean, Harbor Center is like a good place to practice. I don't think that's really like a shot at Buffalo, but how invested the owner is. He's always at the games, which can't really say that about Terry because sometimes the Bills are playing, or sometimes just Pagula is doing well in like a tennis
I mean, that
tournament or
Ryan
something like that.
Smith guy though, is that his name? Ryan Smith, the owner of
Yeah, he seems
yeah,
like a
that
very
guy
good
seems
owner.
so much cooler than Terry. I mean, I don't mean to throw shots at Terry's aura right now, but
Mm,
you know, that Ryan Smith guy might honestly be like one of the coolest owners in sports. So
yeah,
he just has like that aura to him where,
he does.
it feels like he like truly cares about the fans too.
Yeah, I saw a video. He was doing an interview right when he brought the team to Utah, and I was like, "Oof, that would be really nice to have him as the owner of my team right
Yeah, I'm
now."
like, oh man, this guy's like way too cool. Like this is not good for the NHL. It's like we're
But
used to having like older guys that are like kind of boring as owners, and then we get like a cool Mormon guy coming in, and it's like, yeah, I don't think we'll be able to compete with this.
No, we're screwed. Yeah, it's bad. But Mitcher, yeah, we actually went over this at the beginning. We don't really take Kesselring's comments, too much to heart right now. We'll kind of see how things go, but we did talk about him needing to play a little bit better. We always appreciate you coming in and commenting, but wanted to say we did actually talk about that. So yes, 9:08 feels like fair time for you to go work on your IKEA stuff. So is it actually IKEA?
It's essentially IKEA. I got like a Wayfair
Okay.
dresser thing, but it's like similar steps and setup to IKEA.
Okay.
Almost finished with it though.
All right. We'll finish that up before puck drop. Everyone, thank you for tuning in. Just a little pregame stream that we wanted to do because there's so many moving pieces with the Sabres right now that by the time you heard a recorded podcast tomorrow morning would have been pretty much out of date. So enjoy the game, go Sabres, and we will catch you on the next one.